I ended up going back to the studio, meeting up with a couple of my partners or whatever, and everything was pretty much smooth, you know what I mean? Nothing out of the ordinary, still trying to get some work in.
Thank you very much. That boy sure is fast, ain't he?
Man. You ain't need.
Nah, that don't apply to you. Nah, that don't apply to you singers. No. Don't listen to your Uncle Spoon when it comes to your recording, okay? Don't listen to him when it comes to singing. Don't listen to him. Don't be that fast. I know who's next. I can pull that up.
A lot of things just started occurring. How the vibe is, you got some people who just had a different type of vibe on them, just negative. Nobody smiling. Everything was just super duper negative. And then on the flip side, everybody was just trying to meet up with me or they were just out trying to have a good time. Now, life in Chicago, it's kind of hard to have a good time these days, back home, because there's so much stuff going on, especially like for some of y'all that watch the news now. One thing I can say, don't believe everything you see and everything you read. The news controls certain narratives and they only show one part, and I'm gonna get around to that towards the end of this video and I'm gonna tell you why. I went to a basketball game, kicked it with my other bro, man, we always chop it up. We usually have a little tradition now. We starting to kick off now since my birthday. We go stop at our favorite pizza joint, shouts out to Beggar's Pizza. We go ahead and chop it up a little, watch a little sports, and then, go about our day. So this particular night, then on that night, went to a basketball game at this church. They got these, some churches have adult leagues and teenage leagues just to keep kids out of trouble, some just to do it, just to stay in shape. A lot of different things like that. It's a lot of cool activities in church. So I went to my homie's game and everything was smooth, went to the crib, and then once again back up at it again. So that following Saturday, I knew that at this point I had plans on leaving Chicago and going back to the crib come that Saturday. And needless to say, I still haven't really got no real work done as far as business, you know what I'm saying? Everybody once again was on a different type of time. So you get quite a few, sometimes you get the clients that, some people even book you. Or some people, try to set up time and just the cars wasn't aligned. Either it rained on a specific day or, you get some clients that procrastinate. So, you get all these different things like that. So I'm telling my wife, I ain't gonna leave until I take care of business because I don't like feeling unaccomplished, you know what I'm saying? I could take, not seeing everybody at one time, I could take certain things, but handling business, I like to make sure I get things done. So that following Saturday, nothing really went right as far as that go, which I wasn't really tripping, but the funny thing was, for majority of that Saturday, I think I spent my day in a whole room just resting and just thinking about a lot of different things at that time. And I realized I just had a moment of clarity. And in that moment of clarity, I came to the realization that, you know what I mean, like, it's time. It's time for a change, you know what I mean? And loosely, I've been saying out with the old, in with the new, you know what I mean? For some of y'all, it probably mean a lot of different things. And for me, it just means leaving the past, on to new beginnings, or leaving your yesterday. You know what I'm saying? All we can do is look forward. So I can remember at that time, it was almost like I wasn't even there. You know what I mean? I was pretty much monotone at that point. So at that point, I was just ready to go back to the crib, get back to work, doing what I normally do, delivering the content to my peeps right here, you know what I mean? Make sure y'all like and subscribe, hit that notification button, tell a friend. I really had a strong desire for just changing for the better and preparing for the greater. It just snapped me back to just, you know what I mean? I just want to change for the better and prepare for the greater. I was talking to my daughter, one of my oldest daughters, which is not out of the usual. We was having a conversation and I was telling her, she was telling me about something she was going through. And I was telling her about something I'm dealing with at the same time. And I told her that, you know something, when it ever gets weird sometimes, that's when you know something's finna happen. Like, something's finna shift. Your breakthrough is finna occur at some point in time. And I'm like, yo, something's good about to happen. I'm not sure what it is, but I just know that something good is about to happen. She agreed and I agreed. And so I just sat there, and after I got off the phone with her, you know, I just sat there for a minute, still in deep thought. One of my other partners, I ain't been to the city the whole time I've been there. I've been in the burbs all that time. He hits me up and he says, hey, I'm in the area, slide on you. So I'm like, all right, cool, come on. So I know when I get over my homie, I already know, okay, that's my ride to the airport. And I know I'm getting ready. I know I'm not coming back to mom's crib. Definitely finna get ready, I'm gonna chill out for the night. So we ended up going somewhere where I haven't been to in years. We get up with a mutual friend of ours, and not for nothing, you know, this is my boy. I don't wanna out him, but you know, I would just say he's a very outgoing person. You know what I'm saying? It don't make me no mind. It's all love when all of us link up. It's all love, and everybody can just be themselves. And so I'm just sitting back in the cut, chilling. He decided, you know, he like to hit blocks, ride around the city or whatever. And sometimes we always in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up riding around downtown, cruising down Lakeshore Drive and everything. And I was just thinking to myself, like, man, you know, on one hand, it's like, oh, what a beautiful city. You know, like, man, ain't nothing like Lakeshore Drive, no matter day or night. It's nothing like cruising down Lakeshore Drive. So we ended up going back east though. So we way over east, we go down 79th Street. Now, for those of you that know about 79th Street in Chicago, it ain't no need for no long drawn out explanation, but for those of you that's on the new, never been to Chicago or don't know nothing about our streets, 79th Street, no matter going east or west, it's not a tourist spot. A lot of y'all think 63rd is a tourist spot. 63rd is not a tourist spot. Don't believe the hype. Y'all talk all that old block stuff and all that, cause some type of landmark, and that is not for the tourists. It's not a tour. So at the end of the day, the infamous 79th Street, we going over east. You know, once you get way over east, you know where that's going to. So next thing I know, I look up, we by the water. So unbeknownst to me, I'm not putting two and two together until we got to the sign. What do I see? Rainbow Beach. Now, a lot of y'all, like I said, in the city, y'all know about Rainbow Beach. You know what I mean? But this is one of those parts it's one of the many beaches in Chicago. This is like the beginning of like the south side, east side area. This is the end of the beach where, you know, a lot of Southsiders dwell. Some of everybody come, even people from out west, some of everywhere go. And it's always been this certain type of vibe there. And a lot of times, even on the news, as the news report, it's always a shooting, bodies being found, all this type of stuff, right, that you hear about. You also know, if you're familiar with the areas and different sets, and gang culture and all this type of stuff, you pretty much know how to move. You know, if you're from Chicago, you pretty much know how to move. I myself, I dwell in the trenches quite a lot. So just being who I am, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't a place I really don't go. This particular night, but Rainbow Beach at night, 10 o'clock in 2023, it's not my ideal spot of being at, you know what I mean? So the vibe was just totally different. So I'll just say, I would have filmed, but some things ain't always meant for the camera, and nor do I like to exploit my people. But I'm gonna just put it to you this way, like, it was definitely a culture shock for me, and I'm from Chicago, and it was a culture shock for me. Last time I had a culture shock was the first time I really got a true introduction to the West Side. That was a culture shock. Now, I'm on the South Side, East Side, whatever, and this was a culture shock because I couldn't, number one, I couldn't believe how many people, it didn't look like Chicago in this one spot. This is like where all the savages dwell, all the undesirables dwell. Bike clubs, car clubs, thieves, prostitutes, thugs, I mean, you name it. Like ops, for those of you that got ops, it's Ops Central. You know what I mean? It's different gangs there, different, some of everything there, right? Like pretty much something that you wouldn't dare see downtown or anywhere like your 31st Street, up, you're not gonna see this type of activity going on. So they just out there parlaying, doing what they do. Now the crazy thing about it is, as much danger that was in the air, it was peaceful. Nothing happened. You said you had people walking down the boardwalk, different walks of life. I'm talking about black, Hispanic, white, even African, you know what I'm saying? Like you had like a lot of different nationalities out there in between that, and everybody was just doing them, having a good time, being themselves, if you will, you know what I mean? You had everything, ratchet activity, savage activity, you know what I'm trying to say, right? So it was a lot of that going on. There was a whole lot of thugging going on and a whole lot of activity, but I'm telling you, it was, in its own way, it was a beautiful thing, man. But you know, my mouth was open the whole time because I'm like, look at this. And what I mean by that, like I said, I'm not here to exploit, but I'm just gonna let your mind wander, man. It was just like, you know, like I said, it was some of everything out there, man. And you wouldn't believe, even if I put it on camera, but it was almost like watching a movie though. It was like if you was to shoot a video shoot, you had that type of energy that was there that night, that would have been a great video, or that would have been a great scene in a movie. Like just think about like a classic, like it reminded you of like Crenshaw, like Crenshaw and Slauson, like the infamous Boys in the Hood scene where all the cars is that. If you ever been on the corner of Crenshaw and Slauson, basically just Crenshaw. If you was on Crenshaw and it's like it's like a train, like a railroad track, and in between that is cars on both sides. It's almost look like, if you remember that section, if you ever been to that section, then you know what I'm talking about. Like they used to line the car. I don't know if they still do that these days, but that particular scene, just think Boys in the Hood and the lakefront, all rolling in one. Cars is just, it's like 3 rows, cars packed all the way in, like you couldn't even get a park in there. For some people, you had to luck up and get a park. It was that many people, and it was jam-packed, and not an incident occurred, not a fight, not a shooting, stabbing, or nothing. And everybody left in peace. And you would not believe that was the case, because this is not a place that's you would deem safe or anything like that. You had a certain type of women just putting on their best just to come to Rainbow Beach. Now, Rainbow Beach is not a luxurious spot to go to. You're not gonna see no boats pulling up at the dock over here. You're not gonna see people walking in with the puppies and all that type of stuff. No, it's a lot of different activity going on around there, but this is where people meet up at. So at the end of the day, it was a time, I would say.